some enchanted evening.
Sour cream and onion or more Casey masterpiece?
Yes. You may see a stranger, a crowded room, and somehow...
Oh, Miss Piggy, I nuzzle your neck.
Oh, even...
I nibble your hand. I eat your chips.
Good night. The low-fat new flavors of baked Lay's potato chips. You'll really want to hog them.
How far does your dollar go at Ace Dollar Days?
9 feet. 60 yards.
Up to 50 feet.
See how far your dollar will go during Ace Dollar Days. Ace is a place with the helpful hardware folks.
These antacid tablets were a part of my life. I'd been taking them for my heartburn as long as I can remember, sometimes 4 or 5 a day. But now I've discovered something new. Mylanta AR. With Mylanta AR, I get the acid control of a whole roll of these with just one of these. So next time I get heartburn, I take long-lasting Mylanta AR. And bingo, no more antacid tablets.
New Mylanta AR, made strong to last long.
Never seen a minivan take that road.
I wouldn't take that road in a minivan.
They say it has traction control. I heard it can run over a nail, not get a flat. Never heard of a minivan that can do that.
Maybe it's not really a minivan.
Introducing the rugged new Montana from Pontiac. Life is more exciting in Montana.
Being married to a dentist, we're always getting free samples of toothpaste. But what do? I buy Mentadent.
Mentadent is the only fluoride toothpaste with baking soda and peroxide accepted by the American Dental Association.
My husband would never recommend a product that wasn't.
Let me tell you about fish sticks. They're crunchy, and it tastes really good. You can pick them up. You don't have to chop it up like this, all to pieces. Then you dip it in. V-A-N to Kamps. I usually eat 4 or 5.
Van de Kamps. The fish kids like to eat.
You should get your mom to get some.
If you want to keep a kid out of crime, become a mentor. Teach him right from wrong. So do some good. Here's the number to find out how. Children first.
Tomorrow, could it be the key to slowing down the aging process is as close as your refrigerator? Find out only on ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Next Monday, the reunion you've always wanted to see. 2 of America's most beloved and celebrated actors, Mary Tyler Moore and Ed Asner, give 2 extraordinary dramatic performances.
Would you be willing to testify to what you saw?
If a witness does what's right,
you stay away from her.
Who's going to protect her from the law that's wrong?
I don't know where else to go.
Mary Tyler Moore, Ed Asner, a world premiere thriller. Payback, ABC next Monday.
Hey, secret agent guy. It's Rob. You spies sure have some cool toys. How did you? But check out the Motorola StarTAC Celluphone, the smallest lighted celluphone in the world. Remarkable. Don't touch that. You're liable to call my mom. That's the smart button for easy one-handed use. Neat. Very neat. So high-tech, it could only come from Motorola. Motorola, what you never thought possible.
We worry about him watching too much TV.
Eating too much candy.
But too much cold medicine? Never crossed our mind.
Till Annie's last cold. She doesn't have fever, see? We realized we were giving her medicine for symptoms she didn't even have.
Now we use Triaminic.
Triaminic lets us choose the formula that matches her symptoms.
So there's no chance of side effects from unnecessary medicine. Annie.
With the widest range of formulas, only Triaminic lets you choose the right relief without the worry. Trust me, we have enough to worry about.
The bottle's new, and so is what's in it. And what's in it for you? Hair that looks so beautiful, it just has to be touched. Get the look that gets the touch with new formula Finesse.
Man, it's cold. You said it.
There's something going on here. Looking for a way to warm up this winter? Come to Wendy's.
You look like you could use a couple of spicy chicken sandwiches. Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich is a whole breast filet, seasoned with Dave's own blend of pepper and spices. It's got a spicy hit that'll make you feel warm all over.
Surf's up. We gotta get another one.
Come in this winter and warm up with a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Luxottica Eyewear. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see a student and a teacher.
See refinement. I'd like you to see me. Luxottica Eyewear. Let them see you.
From the creator of Chicago Hope and Picket Fences comes the next generation of courtroom drama.
All right. Doing what's right by the book doesn't always work. Anybody here who didn't do it? You get them off just the same as I do, but I don't have as much fun.
The Practice, premiering March 4th on ABC. Clear and Present Danger will continue in a moment.
Tonight at 11, live.
Allegations of a conflict of interest on the part of the governor. I'll have an I-team investigation.
Local.
In Vallejo, a sign of relief as the alleged mastermind behind the bombs is put behind bars.
Late breaking.
Chilling new details in the JonBenet Ramsey case. More about the killer and what he did after the murder.
Live. Local. Late breaking. Tonight on Channel 7 News at 11.
What if buying other stuff was like buying a car?
Oh, no. You don't want that fish. This fish here comes with a special rebate.
Fish rebate?
Yeah, that's right. But it's only good till 6 o'clock. I want that skipperjack. Yeah, well, how do you want to finance this fish? Finance it?
But with GM value pricing, there are no rebates, no confusion.
We also have a remarkable selection of pre-owned fish.
Pre-owned?
Yeah, they're right there here. They're like used?
Now, shopping for a car doesn't have to be like shopping for a car.
What are customers saying about prices at the new Petsmart in town? In fact, they can't wait to see what all the excitement is about.
Come on, I'll race you there.
You'll find prices so low, they're positively...
Gee!
So don't miss the grand opening of the new Petsmart stores in Marin and Richmond. Because when it comes to low prices... Very low, very low. No! We're not just horsing around.
Carrots plucked from the good earth, tomatoes ripe off the vine, and the dressing, not one that's been all bottled up. A salad this fresh needs good seasons. You make it fresh. Good Seasons Italian.
Travel weather plus the Bay Area forecast beginning at 5:30 a.m.
Tonight's movie continues here on ABC.
I remember when the only choice was aspirin. Next came Tylenol, but couldn't always handle all my tough headache pain. And there's Aleve. But if pain comes back once you've taken it, you could be in pain hours before you can take more. No thanks. For me, the best choice is Advil. I can take Advil the way I want to.
Advil contains the #1 doctor-prescribed pain reliever in its class in non-prescription strength.
Nothing is proven to work better or last longer than Advil. Nothing.
Advanced medicine for pain.
Through Valentine's Day, Zales has the lowest prices ever on our entire selection of Diamond S jewelry. Every necklace, every bracelet. Like this 2-carat, now just $379. Our lowest price ever. Zales.
Ok, MT terminal. Access location. Motorola StarTAC stockpile.
Francois!
Almost got it.
Hey, Francois! You don't have to break into any mainframe to get a Motorola StarTAC cellular phone. Just go to any Motorola signature location.
What is this? Some sort of a security system?
Oh, wow, Francois. Motorola, what you never thought possible. I got it! I got it!
No, I got it!
Only from Domino's new Garlic Crunch Crust Pizza. Roasted garlic baked right into the dough. Wow. Call now and ask for any large one-topping pizza, just $9.99. And get any second one-topping pizza, $4.99.
We're hot and wild, call Domino's now.
ABC Late Night tonight. Join Bill Maher and his friends Lisa Kudrow, ABC's Jeff Greenfield, radio host Roger Hedgecock, and Mark Hamill as they ponder the trials and tribulations of stardom.
No, I was just wondering if there was ever any, jealousy among the actors and Yoda.
Get politically incorrect with Bill Maher and Nightline ABC Late Night tonight.
Wednesday, he was gunned down in Vegas. Now, for the first time, slain rapper Tupac Shakur's mother speaks out. Brian Ross reports. Plus, is it true? New relief for the unbearable pain of osteoarthritis. And is it as close as your health food store? Primetime checks it out. ABC Wednesday.
Enough explosives to level a neighborhood. Coming up next, your first look at the dynamite confiscated in the Vallejo bombing case and what we've just learned about the suspects. Plus, did Governor Wilson violate ethics laws? Don't miss a Channel 7 iTeam exclusive next.
This is my fantasy. Cheesecake whenever I want it. Cheesecake, rich and whipped and waiting for me in this perfect little cup. Jell-O cheesecake snacks. So velvety in my mouth with real cream cheese, 'cause that's how I like it. Sometimes I want one with berries. This fantasy is officially reality.
New Jell-O cheesecake snacks, a slightly more indulgent side of Jell-O.
Ring up over $700 billion in sales like AT&T, people talk. Reach $1 trillion in real estate transactions like the Century 21 system, they must be talking to us. Because when you're this big, the #1 real estate system, you can do things others can't. Like average a home bought or sold by our customers every minute, every day. No wonder, in a nationwide survey, homeowners said they'd recommend Century 21 by 6 to 1 over the nearest competitor. So call #1, Century 21.
It's not surprising that for all the different tastes that people have, there are as many ways to cook. And with state-of-the-art cooktops, fast-cooking convection ovens, and easy-to-clean sealed gas burners, cooking's never been more appealing. What might surprise you, though, is that all of these choices are now made possible by Kenmore. Shouldn't you consider the brand that's already at work in over 1 out of 2 homes in America? Kenmore. Come see the innovative side of Sears.
I asked my doctor about those new prescription diet pills. He said they're only for people who are seriously overweight, not for me. But I wanted to lose weight, so I talked to my pharmacist. He recommended Dexatrim. I lost 12 pounds, and I wasn't hungry.
Dexatrim, just one time-released caplet, works all day to help you eat less and lose weight.
The Dexatrim plan was easy. I lost those 12 pounds, and I feel great.
Lose weight with Dexatrim, recommended #1 by pharmacists.
The Nightline, ABC Tonight.
More arrests tonight in the bombings that have terrified the town of Vallejo. Tonight, a closer look at the alleged mastermind behind this bizarre plot.
And shocking new information tonight about the brutal murder of a young Colorado beauty queen.
And did Governor Wilson prevent dozens of Bay Area families from buying a piece of the American dream? An I-Team investigation.
Live, local, late breaking. Channel 7 News at 11 starts now.
Imagine this in your neighbor's garage, a pile of dynamite powerful enough to flatten everything around it. This is the dynamite that police say a Vallejo man was using to avoid going to jail. Good evening, I'm Dan Ashley.
And I'm Terrell Joe. Police say the Vallejo man tried to blow up the Solano County Courthouse where his drug trial was about to begin. And that's not all. Police say he had accomplices, and so far they have rounded up 5 other suspects. Channel 7's Heather Ishimara is live now in Vallejo with the latest. Heather?
Well, Carolyn, police have a theory that the rash of Vallejo bombings was somebody's idea of how to escape facing drug charges and trial. If that's the case, then that plot backfired in a big way, landing 6 people in jail with 500 pounds of dynamite evidence against them. Kevin Robinson was transferred late tonight from Vallejo to the Solano County Jail in Fairfield. Police say Robinson turned himself in after a negotiated surrender over the phone. He is allegedly at the center of the bomb plot. Police say 2 conspirators also arrested this afternoon are minor players in the Vallejo bombings. 22-year-old Jason Pascual is being held without bail on charges of conspiracy and explosion of a destructive device. 30-year-old Orlando Johnson is also being held without bail, charged with possession of explosives and parole violation. Johnson's wife, Cindy, says the 61 sticks of dynamite found yesterday in her husband's car were planted.
Somebody put it there, not Orlando.
Johnson says Robinson and her husband are old friends who go fishing together. She describes Robinson as a quiet man, not capable of masterminding the violent bomb plot.
Kevin is a good person. He's a good, nice person. I've always known him. He's sweet, and he loved kids.
The bulk of the 500 pounds of dynamite was found in this Vallejo garage. It's now in Sacramento, under the watchful eye of the California Department of Forestry's Bomb and Arson Unit.
If this was all detonated at once, it would create a pretty catastrophic event, especially if it was inside a structure. The structure would be totally destroyed.
29-year-old Robinson is a former rap music producer who had achieved some success in Vallejo, but he has a history of drug and weapons convictions. On 2 pending drug cases, he was facing a possible 8 consecutive life terms due to the 3 strikes law. Police believe Robinson thought he could derail the hearing by bombing the Solano County Courthouse and the police evidence room at the library. Now, federal agents got a big boost in this case by serial numbers from the unexploded dynamite found outside the downtown library on January 25th. That was a week ago Saturday. It turns out that that dynamite was stolen from a construction site from a construction company somewhere in the Bay Area, and that construction company didn't even realize that it had been stolen. Police now believe that they do have all of the dynamite off the street, and they hope all the bombers. I'm Heather Ishimaro reporting live in Vallejo. Back to you.
Okay, Heather, thank you. Well, relief and disbelief are the 2 emotions running high tonight in the Vallejo neighborhood where that explosives were found. Residents on Springs Road in Vallejo were still reeling from the news that police found enough dynamite inside a garage to level the entire neighborhood.
It didn't really hit me until last night when I found out how much it was. When I found out it was 500 pounds, it was like...
We can't sleep because we were scared.
Meantime, courthouse employees returned to work today amid all the broken glass and debris. Many still say that they are feeling very frightened.
And as you heard a moment ago, police believe the man who plotted to blow up the Solano County Courthouse did it to avoid trial on drug charges. He was a 3 strikes candidate, meaning if he was convicted, a mandatory long-term prison sentence. As Channel 7's Leslie Brinkley explains, that desperation to avoid a 3rd conviction is having a dramatic effect on the criminal justice system.
Criminals are all too aware of what a 3rd strike means to them.
I've heard public defenders tell me that they've had prior clients call them up and ask them how many strikes do they have. So I think there's more knowledge now about one's status. And if you're talking about this case in Vallejo, clearly that guy knew his status and knew what was likely to happen to him if he went to trial. And apparently that was the motive in trying to get them to blow up the evidence room and stop the trial. I hate to say it, but we have seen a number of cases of violence used at time of the arrest when a person who is in a 3-strike status knows it.
The DA's office is looking for ways to better warn police when they're dealing with potential 3-strike suspects. 3 strikes became law in November 1994 after public outcry from the poly-class kidnapping case. A criminal gets their 1st strike if they're convicted of a serious or violent felony. Strike number 2 comes with a subsequent conviction on any felony count and doubles the criminal's jail time with no probation allowed. A 3rd strike comes from another conviction for any felony and brings with it, in most cases, a minimum sentence of 25 years to life. But if that 3rd conviction is for a relatively minor and non-violent felony, juries have been found to shy away from guilty verdicts, and there have been more hung juries. And 3 strikes cases are backlogging the courts because the criminals refuse to plead guilty. They tend to fight the charges all the way to trial, in some cases even resorting to violent means. Leslie Brinkley, Channel 7 News Tonight.
The American Bar Association, meantime, has voted for an end to the death penalty until its fairness can be guaranteed. The association's House of Delegates plans to lobby at the state and the federal levels. The resolution is opposed by the Clinton administration and the president of ABA, who says its backers have a secret agenda.
The O.J. Simpson civil jury is getting ready for its third day of deliberations since starting all over again on Friday. Before adjourning for the day, jurors requested a testimony readback, but we don't know which testimony they wanted to hear. Earlier, the defense asked the judge to declare a mistrial for the second time since a juror was dismissed, but the judge said no.
Robert Baker's mistrial motion really was laying the groundwork for an argument to the Court of Appeal. In the event Simpson loses, Baker, you can bet, will say, Judge Fujisaki really blew it. This woman tainted the proceedings. We want an entirely new trial.
The only black juror was removed after it was revealed that her daughter works in the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. And we're learning more tonight about the person who murdered 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey. Channel 7 News has learned that the killer apparently tried to wipe away physical evidence from JonBenet's body. Fibers from a towel were found on her body, and body fluids had been smeared. It appears the killer knew where to find a towel and had plenty of time to hide the 6-year-old's body in a little-used room in the basement. Police still haven't made any arrests in the murder of the young beauty queen, whose body was found the day after Christmas.
When we come back tonight, a warning about a potential health hazard in hair dyes.
Plus, a fitting tribute from one of San Francisco's cultural gems to the late Herb Caen.
And we're going to give you a first look at what could be the 49ers' new ballpark.
And later, if you have ever struggled to buy your first home, the story will leave you outraged. A Channel 7 I-Team investigation that leads to the most powerful office in California.
Now, Jack, I'm still not making any promises. Oh, watch out for this. But if you pass your driver's test, the car's yours.
Dad, you've been saying that since I was a baby.
Let's try to parallel park now.
Cool.
The 1997 Mitsubishi Galant. Reliability other cars only dream about. The Galant, Mirage, and Diamante. The family of sedans from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
The only thing as shocking as the crime is the cover-up.
Sanitize this place. I'll take care of everything.
The only thing more dangerous than the conspirators is the witness.
He's got the letter opener.
He's a burglar. Who's gonna believe him?
Could be a little more than that.
Clint Eastwood. You know who did it, don't you? So will you. Absolute Power. Rated R. Opens everywhere February 14th.
You've become a serious player in the global marketplace. Now, you're looking for a serious partner with the resources to reach every country, reduce paperwork, even help speed packages through customs. Luckily, who you need to know, you know already. Global delivery services from the U.S. Postal Service. Ask for the world. We'll deliver.
What makes Benihana Benihana? So what makes Benihana Benihana? Come see for yourself.
Come in for Rocky's Best and get special values all this month.
Columnist Herb Caen was remembered tonight at one of his favorite hangouts, the San Francisco Ballet. The opening night performance was dedicated to Caen, who lost his battle, as you know, with lung cancer on Saturday. Caen also graced today's front page of the San Francisco Chronicle, where he spent most of his 60-year career. A public memorial service is set for Friday morning at Grace Cathedral Church. That will be followed by a jazz celebration on the waterfront. And later, there will be a candlelight walk along Herb Caen Way.
Well, San Francisco voters will get their chance this June to decide whether the 49ers get their new stadium. Supervisor Amos Brown introduced the legislation today. The proposed $325 million stadium would be built at Candlestick Point and seat 75,000 people. It would include stores, restaurants, and a 30-screen theater. So who's going to pay for all this? According to Mayor Brown, not the taxpayers.
The commitment to 49er football in this town is something that eliminates any speculation any speculation that anything other than the revenues flowing from 3Com will pay the indebtedness.
The city plans to sell $100 million in bonds to be paid for by stadium revenues.
An environmental group is suing the makers of Rolaids and other antacids tonight over lead. Even though lead occurs naturally in many foods, the Natural Resources Defense Council says dangerous amounts have been found in those products, which include calcium supplements. The manufacturers contend their products are safe. Lead has also been found in some hair dyes, and it may not only be dangerous to you, but to your kids. Researchers tested 5 lead-containing hair dyes and found that they had up to 10 times more lead than household paint. They are on your screen now. The dyes containing lead include Grecian Formula, Lady Grecian Formula, Youth Hair Cream, RD Hair Color, Coloring, and Groomer. Now, the lead apparently doesn't even wash off when you wash your hands. And as you know, when ingested by children, lead can cause brain damage.
Our meteorologist Pete Giddings is up next with a look at your forecast.
And you'll love this. Coming up later, the moment of a lifetime. One kick worth $1 million.
This is Pat Hagen, your friendly Channel 7 ABC announcer with these words of wisdom. Get ready for an all-new weekend lineup. Your favorite shows are back, but in a new time slot. On Saturday, America's Game Wheel of Fortune at 7, then log on TV at 7:30. Then on Sunday, wake up to Good Morning America at 7 a.m., followed by the Channel 7 News now from 8 to 9:30 a.m. It's Marketplace at 9:30 and ABC's This Week at 10. Sunday on 7 follows at 11:30, and The House Doctor is in at noon. TV.com is just in time for dinner at 6, and it's Jeopardy at 6:30 on Channel 7 ABC. Got that? Oh, change is good.
When you drive a luxury automobile, you naturally assume it will be parked up front. But when it's the fastest car in its class, that isn't always the case. The BMW 740iL, the ultimate driving machine.
All right,
Alrighty.
Pete is here.
I
Rain is
like that
beginning
black
to-
hair, huh?
It's dark. It's nighttime.
Let's go to the foot of Vallejo Street. I want to show you the rain because it's ended. I want to show you the rain. There it is. I can show you the shiny streets. We had 600s here at the station, but around the Bay Area, Cupertino, Walnut Creek, reports have come in of very heavy rain showers. And what happens is a little moderate shower comes along, hits the coastal hill, goes up, gets cool, and boom, drops a lot of rain. Nationally, high pressure sits east and west over southern Canada, sending cold air down, and a frontal system runs from the northern plains down to the western Gulf of Mexico. A weak and cold front is dissipating over central California. Light snow and or rain across New England has ended. Meanwhile, a powerful storm is forming over the plains. That storm stretches from all the way up north by the Great Lakes straight on down to the Gulf of Mexico. They can expect up to a foot of snow over the northern plains into the Great Lakes by this time tomorrow, and up to 1 to 1.5 inches of rain falling an hour over the lower parts of Mississippi Valley as warm, moist air comes up and meets that cold air. And by this time tomorrow, we're going to probably be talking about 2 to 4 inches in some spots. Severe thunderstorms are probably going to hit the western Gulf states tonight. Light precipitation has been falling over Oregon and Northern California. The national extremes from 17 degrees below zero at Ely, Minnesota, to 87 degrees down at Alex, Texas. Back here at home, we went from the 30s to the 60s. From one of the 38s, and that was at Sonoma, to 60s at Napa and also at Concord. As we head south, I have another 38. It's at Danville, and I have more 60s at Danville, Livermore, Fremont, and Morgan Hill, in addition to Santa Cruz, where they started the day at 43. For Channel 7, we started the day exactly where we are now at 49 degrees, and we only went up 6 degrees to 55. So we were 4 above and 3 below the seasonal norm. We're at 96% humidity. Pressure's 30, 18 and rising. Winds light and variable, and there's that 0.06 of an inch of rain. That weak and cold front is dissipating on the southern end as it moves to the east and passed over the Bay Area. High pressure is building between it and the next system and will serve to weaken it and slow it down. There are other disturbances south of the Aleutian. The southern end of this system, as you will see going back 18 hours, just completely falls apart. And you can see how the high is going up and just dissipating some of the high clouds. It'll break down and probably until about Thursday when it'll come in with some rain, and it won't be much or long-lasting. There are small craft advisories up from Cape Mendocino north. Winds tomorrow outside the gate, northwest 10 to 20, seas 2 to 4, and the swells northwest at 7. Here is the last 8 hours of radar. This is just before we last saw you. It was coming in from the ocean, and this is the end of it. You see nothing more to the west. Tonight, it'll be a cloudy night with the showers ending, and our lows will be in the 40s. And for tomorrow, we'll start out cloudy, we'll wind up sunny, and highs will be near 60. And looking out ahead, it's going to be a nice dry period again this week until we get to about Friday. And as I said, we're not going to get a whole lot out of it. And Lee Glasser will be here at 5:30 in the morning with Tuesday's first forecast.
Good enough. Thank you, Peter.
All right, guys.
Coming up, an I-Team investigation that should anger anybody who has struggled and saved for a piece of the American dream.
There's a strong stench of conflict of interest here, it seems to me.
Did Governor Wilson commit ethics violations? Did his actions keep dozens of Bay Area residents from buying their first homes? Channel 7's Dan Noyes has the answers in an I-Team investigation when we come back.
A Northern California kind of day. Come on, we'll talk you through it. At 3, there'll be some rosy things to say. At 4, watch overdo it. 3 and 4 should always be 7.
You'll be happy to know that Midas is having their brake sale, where you'll save 25% on any brake shoes and pads, guaranteed for as long as you own your car. You see, Midas figured 25% off would come in handy, because you can never be sure what kind of wear and tear your brakes have been through. The brake sale at Midas.
Everyone wants a quiet place to get away. Here's one within driving distance. The new Camry. Thanks to a new level of sound-absorbing technology, including a special alloy in the steering wheel to reduce vibration, so the only thing you feel is good. The new Camry. Quieter, smoother, better than ever.
Hello, America!
Ask him what is it like floating in space. What? Do you ever get a chance to sleep?
It used to be that we just launched rockets into space.
What's the scariest moment? What about the holes in the ozone?
Today, through distance learning, MCI can launch entire schools.
The copier's broken again. Can we get a Xerox? They have them at Staples.
I'll think about it. Oh, I ordered your Xerox copier.
You did?
Want a Xerox copier? Staples has them all with a 3-year Xerox warranty and at guaranteed low prices. Staples, yeah, we've got that.
Why did I build my resort on top of a silver mine? So there'd always be plenty to go around.
Discover Reno's Silver Legacy Resort Casino, where you sound and light shows rise 18 stories tall. It's a world of silver treasures, where the show never stops.
What good is a silver mine if I can't make some of it yours?
See who's appearing soon at Reno's Silver Legacy. Call 1-800-MUST-SEE.
Lucky for you!
During our 6 o'clock news, the Channel 7 I-Team told you how the state has cut back aid for thousands of first-time home buyers in the Bay Area.
Well, tonight you'll see how the personal finances of some of the state's top officials may have played a role in those cuts. I-Team reporter Dan Noyes has the exclusive details, and he's here now to explain. Dan?
Dan, Governor Pete Wilson and Treasurer Matt Fong are the officials who pushed for the housing cutbacks, and they gave some of that money to a corporation in which they both own stock, prompting charges that Wilson and Fong may have violated conflict of interest laws. It's the American dream to own your own home, and thousands of people in the Bay Area are struggling to achieve that goal. But the state has cut back aid for first-time home buyers like Bill Edenfield of Oakland.
I've either found places that, have been, too small and too high priced, or in areas that, I don't want to live.
2 years ago, Edenfield could have gotten help with a Mortgage Credit Certificate, or MCC, a tax break for lower to middle income first-time homebuyers. But the state cut back MCCs and gave that money to big corporations, which critics say don't need it.
They have a source of income where someone looking for a house needs a tax break. That's really where the money should go, in my view.
One of the companies that benefited from the cuts is Anheuser-Busch, which made over $1 billion in profits last year. In October, Governor Pete Wilson and Treasurer Matt Fong approved tax breaks to help Anheuser-Busch finance environmental improvements at its Van Nuys brewery, saving the company $300,000 a year. Those same tax breaks could have helped 50 Bay Area first-time homebuyers.
There's a strong stench of conflict of interest here, it seems to me.
The decision is controversial because Wilson owns nearly $400,000 worth of Anheuser-Busch stock, generating nearly $10,000 of personal income for the governor each year. And Fong's wife also owns anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 worth of stock in Anheuser-Busch. And Wilson and Fong both sit on the two state committees that control the tax breaks.
There's no thought of a profit or a benefit on the governor's part, or no action taken to thoughtfully or potentially benefit the governor who has stock in this company.
State ethics law prohibits Wilson and Fong from helping companies where they own more than $1,000 worth of stock. But Wilson's spokesman says the governor didn't vote for the tax break. It was his proxy, staff aide Teresa Parker.
In this case, it's simply the fact that there was no discussions that ever occurred between either Terry Parker or through Governor Wilson. There was no conflict of interest.
But state records show that when Parker voted for the Anheuser-Busch tax break, she did so, quote, for the governor.
When she votes, it's the governor voting. When she participates, it's the governor participating. And he is charged with the responsibility for everything that she does.
And the governor's spokesman admits that if the tax break was up for consideration today, Wilson would not vote for it.
We think that it's prudent in the future, should business come before the board with regard to Anheuser-Busch, that Ms. Parker may wish to recuse herself from making those decisions.
Fong also says he has no conflict of interest, but he has a different argument. Ethics violations occur only when officials save companies $250,000 or more a year with their vote. And Fong's staff members estimate that the treasurer's vote saved Anheuser-Busch only $238,000, $12,000 below the legal limit. But the I-Team has learned that the actual savings for Anheuser-Busch is $300,000 a year. Our source? The company itself.
It certainly looks like a violation, and clearly an elected official who has an interest, a significant interest in a company, should not be participating in decisions which benefit that company.
So is what the governor and the treasurer did against the law? The Fair Political Practices Commission would make that determination, but the commission can't investigate the matter without a complaint, and so far, none has been filed. Dan Terrell?
This is fascinating, Dan. Let me ask you, are there any penalties for these violations?
Normally, there are $5,000 per fine for each violation of the ethics law, but there's a catch. Many state officials, including the governor and the treasurer, are exempt from fines and penalties. So there really is, this ethics law really has no teeth. They're exempt from the fines and penalties.
Oh,
yeah.
So it wouldn't matter if anyone filed a complaint anyway.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Keep us posted on this.
Well, farewell to another 49er. Martin White is up next with sport.
And a whole lot of chomping going on at the tank. Some former Sharks got the last word tonight.
I'm forgetting something. Cereal.
Doctors. In an ideal world, it would be easy to shop for a doctor. And now, thanks to 5 great hospitals, it is.
Mommy, I want that one.
Timmy, that's called a gynecologist.
Introducing Classico's new roasted garlic pasta sauce. In the Italian village of Sorrento, traditional homemade pasta sauces are rich with the robust flavor of roasted garlic. Now new Classico de Sorrento, with oven-roasted garlic and sweet-red tomatoes, lets you taste this authentic homemade Italian flavor for yourself. Discover Classico's new roasted garlic pasta sauce and taste the difference authenticity makes.
Sure looks lonely out there. Kind of place a guy could really get lost in, huh? Yeah. Oh, but your Lexus has an onboard satellite cellular communication system that'll open your door if you get locked out, give you directions if you're lost, send for help if you need it out there, huh?
No, it doesn't.
You're a brave man, my friend.
Seville STS now offers OnStar, the interactive communication system there to help you 24 hours a day.
Can I follow you?
No.
I mean, because if we're going in the same direction, otherwise I'm going to be a little lost.
No can do.
How long should it take to find a great doctor who's affiliated with 5 of the area's best hospitals? Just about this long.
My first road trip. My best friend Amy. Of course, my parents would rather I not go. They worry. They're parents. So they gave me a Motorola cellular phone. Hey, that's cool with me. My dad said, Motorola because they're real reliable. You know, stuff like that. Translation, he cares.
Hi, Daddy.
This Valentine's Day, keep the ones you love close with a cellular phone from Motorola, the leader in wireless phones. Motorola, what you never thought possible.
All right, Martin joins us now, and the Sharks are not happy campers tonight.
Some old Sharks came in and, you know, if they had played like this, they never would have left. Anyway, former Shark goalie Chris Terreri, he was sensational in his first game against his old team. 38 saves for Terreri. He leads Chicago to a 4-2 victory at the Tank. A little in your face for Terreri against his old team. Now, the Sharks got on the board first. Bernie Nichols, great feed, and Tony Granato sends a shot through 3 Blackhawks, 1-0 Sharks. Still in the first, look at Terreri. Stops everything in sight. Blocking puck, standing on his head with his stick, his pad, his mask. He was like Wall. Former Shark Ulf Dahlin just gets a rebound past Kelly Rudy. Dahlin's third goal in 3 games with Chicago, 2-1 Blackhawks. In second period, the muscle man, Bob Probert, deflection at the doorstep past Rudy, 3-1 Chicago. They never look back. They come out on top, 4-2 is your final. Well, 49er defensive coordinator Pete Carroll got the job he wanted. The San Francisco native signed a 5-year contract to lead the New England Patriots. He'll take over a team that just came from the Super Bowl. It's his second NFL head coaching job. The first with the Jets really shouldn't count. New England owner Bob Kraft introduced Pete today. He had tried to talk George Seifert out of retirement. Well, the 45-year-old Carroll will be following the large footprints of Bill Parcells. Parcells led the Pats to this year's Super Bowl and quit after a 4-year feud over player personnel control with Bob Kraft. Carroll starred at UOP. He knows he's going to be compared with Parcells.
I don't have any problem with that at all. I think he's done a wonderful job with this program, and I'm thankful that he set it up. We should have a great work ethic here. We should have things in place to do some good things. And as far as that, I mean, it's just like Jay Leno took over for Johnny Carson, you know, and he was Jay Leno. He wasn't trying to be Johnny Carson. I'm going to be me and do the best I can with that, and let the comparisons go as they. What will really be compared is how we win, and so that's what we're all about.
All right, the first of some frantic moves by the Niners today. They cut 1990 first-round pick Dexter Carter and Derek LaVille, a couple of former starters at halfback, also Dedrick Dodge, the team's nickelback. Niners still have some $5 million over next season's projected salary cap. They've got to reduce that in the next 10 days, so expect some more cuts. It looks like the Kings will get their ransom to keep the team in Sacramento. Their city council is going to meet this week to talk over a deal to loan that team $70 million to pay off the Arco Arena debt. Meanwhile, on the court, former Warrior Jeff Grayer drains a three-pointer. Grayer with 16 points for the Kings against San Antonio. Mitch Richmond was the man for the Kings. Another former Warrior, Mitch, with the three-point play, led him with 26. The Kings over the Spurs, 85-79. And San Jose Laser assistant coach Denise Curry, elected to the Basketball Hall of Fame. That would have been one. She's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Curry's one of the 7 in the class of 1997. She started at UCLA, 3-time All-American, averaged a double-double in her storied UCLA career, and also an Olympic gold medalist.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, thank you. Well, coming up next, First Lady Hillary Clinton belting out the tunes on television. You will see it for yourself.
Plus, how this young man's trip to Hawaii was a real kick.
Now, Jack, I'm still not making any promises. Oh, watch out for this. But if you pass your driver's test, the car's yours.
Dad, you've been saying that since I was a baby.
Let's try to parallel park now.
Cool.
The 1997 Mitsubishi Galant. Reliability other cars only dream about. The Galant, Mirage, and Diamante. The family of sedans from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
Top breeders talk about what they feed their dogs.
My dogs are champions. They love to eat. And when they eat, they love to eat
Kibbles and bits! Kibbles and bits! We're gonna get us some kibbles and bits! We're gonna get us some kibbles and bits!
Kibbles and Bits beats pedigree with a taste that's preferred 4-to-1, and it's 100% complete nutrition.
Boys!
From now on, we're gonna get us some kibbles and bits!
Great taste, complete nutrition. It's gotta be Bits.
You.
Tomorrow, wake up to the Channel 7 Morning News.
It started out a headache of a commute. How will the rest of the week shape up? We've got your trip to work and school covered.
It's the news you need
Clouds today, some sunshine for tomorrow.
before you leave.
Monday commute slowed down with a power outage in the South Bay. We have live coverage from Sky 7. Join us tomorrow.
Wake up to the Channel 7 Morning News tomorrow beginning at 5:30. The news you need before you leave. That's the power of information.
The Bay Area's most reliable traffic information. Now, you know exactly when to get it, where to find it. Scheduled on the 8s, 8, 18, 28, 38, 48, and 58 past the hour. Every 10 minutes during weekday morning and afternoon commutes. On AM radio, KGO, News Talk 810.
A couple of final notes before we leave you tonight. A few minutes ago, you heard about the new stadium for the 49ers that voters will cast ballots on in June. There are some other issues on a special ballot. Voters will be asked to approve a total of $237 million in bonds to refurbish the city zoo, improve public schools, and build community cultural centers. And the box office wars are raging between Star Wars and E.T. The re-release of Star Wars pulled in more than $35 million this past weekend, putting it within reach of the extraterrestrial, Hollywood's all-time biggest moneymaker.
Well, she probably won't make it to the big screen, but Hillary Rodham Clinton came out singing today on the little screen.
What's the story? Morning glory.
What's it tell? Nightingale.
Tell me quick about Hugo and Kim.
Hi, Margie.
Hi, Alice.
What's the story? Morning glory.
What's the word? Hummingbird.
Now, we're not playing a trick on you. That really is the First Lady singing along with Rosie on the Rosie O'Donnell Show. The song is from Bye Bye Birdie, and it was a big hit with the crowd.
I would tease her, but she's doing much better than I ever could.
You thought she could only do health care.
And finally tonight, if you saw this over the weekend, it is worth a second look. And if you haven't, you are in for a real treat. During the Pro Bowl on Channel 7 ABC, a 26-year-old New York banker laced up his cleats for a once-in-a-lifetime kick.
And Lance, we are live back in the States, prime time. And the kick is good!
Unbelievable. And good and worth $1 million for Scott Ulstadt, a former high school soccer player, by the way, the winner of Hershey's $1 million Pro Bowl kick. Ulstadt said today that as soon as he kicked that ball, he knew it was going in.
Ooh, that was sweet.
Maybe he's ready for next year's draft.
That's right. Well, that is Channel 7 News at 11. Thanks so much for joining us. Next on Nightline, the debate over the medical use of marijuana.
For Terrell and Joe, Martin Wyatt and Pete Giddings, I'm Dan Ashley. Thanks for the company. Have a good evening and good night.
Good night.
February 3rd, 1997.
I want to tell you a secret.
It was a battle fought and won at the ballot box,
I broke the law and got marijuana.
only to be fought over again by the federal government.
We need to understand that marijuana remains a dangerous drug.
A policy now condemned as misguided, heavy-handed, and inhumane.
It's not about the drug war now. It's about health policy. It's about patients and doctors.
Tonight, medical marijuana, the war over the weed.
This is ABC News Nightline. Substituting for Ted Koppel and reporting from Washington, Forrest Sawyer.
It was one thing when the proponents of legalizing marijuana were simply in favor of pharmaceutical recreation. But when physicians, voters, legislatures, and influential citizens band together to support the medicinal use of marijuana, that's something else entirely. Enough of something else to put an old debate into sharp new focus. Used properly, can marijuana actually help people who are suffering? Or are the effects too little understood to risk taking society toward increased drug abuse? The battle lines are already being drawn. Voters in Arizona and California have approved doctor-recommended pot. The Massachusetts legislature has quietly done the same thing. The prestigious New England Journal of Medicine has just given its seal of approval, and a group of San Francisco physicians has taken the fight to the courts. So far, the federal government's response, recommending further study and threatening users with prosecution, has satisfied no one. Tonight, while the opening salvos are still being fired, a look at what's at stake. First, ABC's Ken Kashiwahara.
Wayne Justman uses marijuana to relieve symptoms of AIDS.
When I'm smoking it, it's just increase my appetite level, okay? And then also, too, it will reduce the level of anxiety that I may have.
Leslie Thomas says it helps her multiple sclerosis.
It just keeps my nerves just settled just enough to keep me from jumping, my arms flopping and my legs flopping all over the place.
Martina Valdez finds pot makes her battle with leukemia bearable.
It eases my suffering, my nausea. It takes my nausea away. I'm able to eat now, so I feel happy about that.
It is the kind of compelling testimony that led California and Arizona voters to just say yes last November. Yes to ballot initiatives legalizing the use of marijuana to relieve pain and suffering.
I've been a nurse for over 40 years, but when my husband, JJ, was dying of cancer, I felt helpless. The nausea from his chemotherapy was so awful, it broke my heart. So I broke the law and got him marijuana.
The new laws have created a boom in what used to be underground marijuana buyers clubs.
There you go, hon. You have a good day.
Now operating above ground, serving customers who no longer have to look over their shoulders.
It means that I'm no longer a criminal for smoking marijuana and taking care of myself.
Patients must have a doctor's recommendation in order to buy the drug, which the club verifies.
Cannabis Cultivators Club in San Francisco, and I'm just calling to verify the patient status of two of your patients.
But what is considered a huge victory for proponents of medical marijuana has also become a clear challenge to America's war on drugs. No less than the White House drug czar campaigned against the ballot measures.
Most of us think this is bad medicine, bad science, and opens ourselves to increased drug abuse by young people.
While passage of the new laws ended the campaign debate, it created a new one. Medicinal marijuana is now legal in the two states, but it is still illegal under federal law. And that raises the broader issue of what the country's policy should be. Only a few days ago, the prestigious New England Journal of Medicine raised the debate to new levels with a stinging attack on federal policy. In an editorial, Dr. Jerome Cassirer calls the federal prohibition misguided, heavy-handed, and inhumane. Federal authorities, he writes, should rescind their prohibition of the medicinal use of marijuana for seriously ill patients and allow physicians to decide which patients to treat. The federal government has threatened to punish doctors who recommend marijuana to their patients, strongly suggesting that prescription writing licenses might be taken away, that physicians might even be prosecuted. Dr. Lawrence White is former president of the California Medical Association.
Doctors shouldn't get into trouble for prescribing it, and I think the government ought to take a couple of hits on it themselves and calm down about the notion that this is not going to destroy the moral fiber of our youth if I prescribe it to an 80-year-old nun with metastatic colon cancer. It just isn't going to happen.
The White House, supported by the American Medical Association, has proposed a $1 million 18-month study to determine whether marijuana is medically effective.
There is an open door to any substance that claims it's a medicine, but it has to pass medical scientific evaluation.
It's a delaying tactic. It's unnecessary.
Kevin Zeese, head of a group that advocates liberalization of marijuana laws, says the study is unnecessary because the research has already been done.
We released a report that reviewed 79 studies and reports in peer-reviewed medical journals, all since 1970, all modern research that demonstrate marijuana's safety and effectiveness. These are studies that include double-blind, placebo-controlled, random research studies. They include various objective measurements, how much nausea, how much vomiting, how much appetite increase, how much weight increase, how much muscle spasms are reduced.
But because the New England Journal of Medicine is so influential, opponents of medical marijuana have fears beyond the current debate.
we're sending, once again, a message that glamorizes the use of marijuana, and that is not acceptable in trying to help our children make more positive decisions.
The concern is for teenagers who have tripled their use of marijuana over the last 5 years. And under the new California law, there is no age restriction for using medicinal marijuana. Doctors at Phoenix House, a drug treatment program located in several states, say they've seen what pot can do to teenagers.
In fact, 40% of the kids now in some of our residential high schools have gotten their lives so messed up using only marijuana that they've had to be taken away from their families, they've had to come out of their schools, and they've had to come into residential treatment. So that for adolescents, marijuana is very serious medicine and very troublesome medicine, and we have to be very careful with it as a society.
So the policy debate has been joined. On one side, the country's war on drugs. On the other, thousands of patients demanding compassion for people in pain. This is Ken Kashiwahara for Nightline in San Francisco.
When we come back, the man who authored the attack on the federal government's marijuana policy and the White House point person on whether marijuana should be legalized.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Lexus.
Shoe vermin. I am Fifth Avenue. And even though I live amongst debutantes and celebrities, things are dull. Oh, look, another tourist. Is there no relief from this monotony? What's this?
The all-new ES300. The road is calling. Answer it.
Ah, something worthy of my asphalt.
We look at it forwards. We look at it backwards. We offer a voice where there was none. The New York Times. Every day we reveal a world of perspective that others miss. It's all in how you look at it. The New York Times. Expect the world.
Welcome to the Chevy Astro interior.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
No matter how comfortable it looks, it never forgets that it's a Chevy truck.
Like a rock.
Astro from Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Like a rock.
You'll be happy to know that Midas is having their brake sale, where you'll save 25% on any brake shoes and pads, guaranteed for as long as you own your car. The brake sale.
Man, that's a fast truck.
With us from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Dr. Jerome Cassirer. He is editor-in-chief of the New England Journal of Medicine and wrote last week's editorial entitled Federal Foolishness and Marijuana. Here in our Washington bureau, Patricia Seitz, chief counsel at the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy. She advises the drug czar on the issue of legalizing marijuana. Ms. Seitz, let me begin with you, and I will ask you the question that Dr. Cassirer poses to you. Why not resolve this matter and simply allow physicians to determine who should have access to marijuana?
That's what we would like to do, is have physicians resolve this issue. This should be a debate among doctors. And the challenge is for Dr. Cassirer to take his proposal to his peers and let them determine if this is the best medicine. We have a national standard for determining what are safe and effective medicines in the United States. The public relies on that. It's served us well for 50 years. And there's no reason why marijuana should not be subjected to the same rigorous scientific standards that we require of all substances that we promote as medicines.
But at present, as you know, both California and Arizona have passed laws which do permit doctors to prescribe marijuana, and that is in violation of federal statutes. And Janet Reno, the Attorney General, has suggested that they face penalties, possibly even criminal prosecution. Would the government actually prosecute physicians who prescribe marijuana?
We need to make one correction, Forrest. The California statute was specifically written so that it did not require a prescription, and the authors said that they wanted to do that to get around it. The statute is so broad that I think even Dr. Kassirer says that he would not have voted for it. The issue then is a very broad statute that does not meet the requirements of the best medicine for the American public. And that's what we're concerned about, is how do you protect the American public and give them the best medicine that they need when they are sick.
But if faced with the civil disobedience of a physician prescribing marijuana, would the federal government be prepared to prosecute?
The response that Janet Reno and the director submitted to the public was a very balanced approach, and it focused on those instances where doctors need to be concerned. If there's not a valid patient-doctor relationship, if there is a prescription mill, if there is an effort to make money off the sick and dying, if it is provided to young people, if there is a injury or a death arising.
Dr. Kassirer, I do believe she's bounced the ball back over into your court.
Well, I'm happy to take it, actually. I don't really see this as a legal issue as much as I see it as a moral, a medical issue, and a political issue. It seems to me that if we have sick people with desperate illnesses who clearly get an improvement in their terrible symptoms such as nausea, or if their appetite improves from the use of marijuana, then I'd say, why not let them use it? In fact, we do that with certain other drugs, such as Demerol and morphine. They're far more dangerous.
Well, Dr. Kassirer, I believe that what some people would say is that they do appreciate your opinion, but there is a protocol that is followed, and that is that we go through certain kinds of trials, tests, and there is peer review, and then finally drugs are permitted to be given to the public by physicians, and that is not different for marijuana than any other drug.
Oh, please. If anyone is in favor of peer review, it would be the editor of the New England Journal of Medicine. We publish peer-reviewed papers all the time, but you would be hard-pressed to find peer-reviewed studies of Demerol and morphine. These drugs have been in effect. We've used them for decades or centuries, and there are no controlled trials of Demerol and morphine.
Dr. Seitz, Ms. Seitz, I mean to say, I think there are some people who would say that your position is a little disingenuous. After all, the federal government has blocked human trials, human studies of marijuana since 1972, and certainly hasn't been putting any money into the study of marijuana.
I disagree with that statement categorically. In the past 10 years, there's only been one protocol submitted to study marijuana, and that was turned down by peer review. The truth of the matter is that this whole idea of marijuana as a medicine is a 1980s idea that has been discredited by 1990s science. We have moved forward. We have developed new types of medications that deal with the issues that we're talking about. And quite frankly, I have to disagree with Dr. Kassirer that marijuana is not harmful. In fact, I know of, at least in his journal, there are 6 studies that have been reported as to the dangers of marijuana to the lungs, to women who are pregnant, because of the bacterial, the fungal, and problems with the use of medical marijuana. And in fact, in 1994, there was another study published in his journal which said that it was one of the major causes of accidents. So to say that it is not harmful is quite wrong based on his own publication.
Dr. Kassirer?
Well, this is really a kind of an odd arrangement in which a lawyer is talking about science and a physician is talking about morality. I think it's strange. What I propose is to allow desperately sick people to use marijuana. Now, if someone is dying of cancer and has terrible nausea, I don't think we have to worry about the side effects of the kind of side effects that she's talking about. And my opinion is that physicians ought to be allowed to use it with their own judgment.
Very, very simply, Ms. Seitz, before we go to commercial, would the federal government be prepared to allow physicians to prescribe to terminally ill patients marijuana to ease their suffering?
How can we allow second-class medicine just because somebody is terminally ill? They are entitled to the best medicine that we can provide, and that medicine is substances are tested to make sure that they pass rigorous scientific tests before they are labeled as a medicine.
If I could ask you both to stay with me, we'll be back in just one moment.
In a Saab 9000 Aero with 225 turbocharged horses, you could have serious fun. You could feel the rush of the torque. And when Automobile Magazine says you must drive this car, you could admire their keen grasp of the obvious. The Saab 9000 Aero. Find your own road. Saab.
If you're busy, and who isn't these days, you don't have time to fool with brake repairs. So at Midas, we give your brakes a thorough inspection and explain your options. It's the Midas way, a better system for you and your car.
Tonight on PI, my guests are Lisa Kudrow, ABC's Jeff Greenfield, radio host Roger Hedgecock, and Mark Hamill.
America's favorite new choice in late night, Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, coming up on ABC.
People here communicate mind to mind.
There is no race.
There are no genders.
There is no age.
No age.
There are no infirmities.
There are only minds.
Only minds.
Utopia?
No.
No. The internet. Where minds, doors, and lives open up.
Is this a great time or what?
What are customers saying about prices at the new Petsmart in town? In fact, they can't wait to see what all the excitement is about.
Come on, I'll race you there.
You'll find prices so low, they're positively...
Gee!
So don't miss the grand opening of the new Petsmart stores in Marin and Richmond. Because when it comes to low prices, very low, no! We're not just horsing around.
Well, you treat me this way, from dawn to dusk. You take me 100,000 miles, it's just not enough. Well, I'm gonna diss them, baby, and I'll rise above, 'cause I know you're always gonna hurt the ones you love.
The highly durable Tacoma 4x2. Toyota trucks always come through.
We are back with Dr. Jerome Kusirer of the New England Journal of Medicine and Patricia Seitz, counsel to the White House drug czar. Ms. Seitz, I may not have heard you correctly, but I thought I detected a contradiction in your position. At first, I thought I heard you say that there should be greater study of marijuana to determine its usefulness, and then I thought I heard you say that we have pushed past marijuana and that science has better alternatives. Which is it?
I think the majority of physicians will say that we have better science. I know that there are some thoughtful doctors who have used marijuana, but most physicians really doubt its efficacy. And there are a number of physicians that are gravely concerned about the harmful effects of marijuana smoke and the harmful effects marijuana has on depressing the immune system. So there are the harms out there, and the question is, in trying to treat people, we need to make sure that what we have is safe and effective. And do we really need something that doesn't meet those standards?
Well, I suppose that the answer is we don't really know unless we study it a bit further. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health, for instance, has requested the federal government for federally grown and research-grade marijuana so they could begin their own tests. And as yet, they haven't really received a written response. Will they?
The door is always opened to good science. It's interesting to note...
Does that mean that they'll get the marijuana that they've requested for study?
If their study passes peer review, they'll get it.
I think I think we have to be careful here. There's a bit of hypocrisy in what's being described. The federal government has not allowed any research on marijuana for years. There was a study back in 1982 by the Institute of Medicine in which they evaluated all of the then current data on marijuana and found it to be really not a terribly effective medicine, but quite safe. And there's been virtually no studies since then, a scattering of studies. Now, what the drug czar has proposed is $1 million, 18-month study of marijuana by the Institute of Medicine, again, despite the fact that there have been very few studies since then. That 18-month study could be done in 18 days.
What do you think, Dr. Kassir, is going on here? Do you believe the administration actually is just trying to sweep a political hot potato out the door?
I think I described this as a politically correct strategy. I think I described it as reflexive ideology instead of compassion for the sick.
I, with due respect, Dr. Kassir, dispute what you are saying. The object here is to make sure that you provide the best medicine. Medicine needs to be based on science, not ideology. And it is interesting that we need to always have an open mind to look at what is new out there. We are interested in peer-based protocols to look at the issue. It's also interesting to note that the Dutch equivalent of our Institute of Medicine just reported out in December that they had reviewed the literature for the past 25 years and had determined that in Holland, marijuana will not be considered a medicine. And
well, I have great respect for the Dutch, but on the other hand, what we have to have more respect for are the dying patients, the desperately sick people who say they have benefit from marijuana. What you're saying is that you don't trust them. What you're also saying is that you don't trust doctors. I'm offended by that.
Well, doctor, do you remember when Laetrile came out and a number of people said that that was going to be the cure for cancer? And a lot of people believe that, but they had the tests and they found out it was simply a hoax. When people are desperate, it is very easy to take advantage of their desperateness as they look for things, and sometimes they think that it makes them feel better. But
that's a bad analogy.
No, but
that's a very bad analogy because Laetrile was used for the treatment of cancer, and there are objective ways of determining whether people with cancer get well or not. You can measure their lesions. You can look at their chest x-rays.
Forgive me for jumping in. We have only a little bit of time left here. Dr. Kassir, you point out that this is a moral argument. How concerned are you that if you open this door, there are those people who will abuse the opportunity to have access to marijuana and that it will become more widespread and that it will indeed be a gateway drug that will lead to only increased drug abuse?
I don't believe it. There are we have to trust doctors. The reason that marijuana is becoming more widely used is because it's available on the street, not because doctors prescribe it.
But you know, Dr. Kassir, there are certainly a lot of doctors who don't think that this is a very good idea and don't think that it should be allowed by law. So it's a dispute within the medical community as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, doctor. Absolutely.
I agree with that.
And he needs to persuade the American Medical Association, the American Cancer Association.
Oh, no, I don't.
Yes, you do,
no, I
doctor.
don't. I don't need to persuade the American Medical Association of anything. I think this is a debate that needs to be joined. And it's something that doctors need to make their judgments about and try to convince the federal government not to be so heavy-handed.
Well, there does come to be this last question, which I'd like to ask you, if I may, Ms. Seitz. You must also convince the American people. And if there are those people who are willing to lead the fight with civil disobedience, I come back to the question, how far are you willing to take your prohibition? Are you willing to push doctors into prison, and are you willing to arrest those people who say that they are using marijuana for medicinal purposes?
Forrest, smoke is not a medicine. With all we have seen with understanding of tobacco, how a doctor can sit there and say to the American public that smoke is a medicine is quite surprising, especially given all of the scientific evidence that holds otherwise.
Please,
medicine in America needs to be based on science, not on arguments.
Wouldn't you give dying patients a cigarette?
Dr.
Why not
Kassir,
give dying patients marijuana?
Your point is taken here at the end, and I hope you both feel that you've been able to make all of your points, but it's a debate that will continue for some time. Thank you both. I'll be back in just a moment.
Now, We got a lot of work to do before the next game. But I'm with you.
Okay, Dad.
All right, over the goal, folks. Oh, good. Spread them apart a little bit like that. I'm open.
Dad, you okay?
Yeah, fine. Nice tackle, son.
The best moments in life sometimes come with a few aches and pains. That's why there's Tylenol.
Your little guy's looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, well, we've been practicing.
Tylenol, the pain reliever doctors, coaches, and dads rely on.
Hey, that was a good game, buddy.
Here's the thing. Most long-distance plans, very complicated.
Oh, yeah.
But the AT&T one-rate plan, very simple.
How simple?
Calls from home are one low rate all the time.
How much?
It's 15 cents a minute to anybody in America at any time.
And this is AT&T.
That's right.
One rate all the time.
Exactly.
Is there any time when this is not the rate?
There is no time when this is not the rate.
I don't get it.
Am I just being unclear?
No restrictions, no games. The AT&T one-rate plan.
Year after year, generation after generation, this familiar vehicle has gone through change after change, improvement after improvement. But one thing remains the same. It's still a Jeep. It's how we do things at the Chrysler Corporation. It's how we build great cars and great trucks.
To maximize both power and durability, the Pontiac Grand Am's powertrain is engineered to aerospace tolerances, which has helped keep more Grand Ams on the road even after 11 years than any car in its class. So not only does Grand Am give you a good time, it gives you one for a good long time. Now a good time is a great value with this special finance rate from your Pontiac dealer, but step on it, it's only available for a limited time. Grand Am, built for kicks, built for keeps. Right at your Pontiac Excitement Network dealer today.
Want to see a totally new way to get permanent hair color?
Break through to new Hydrience, the first water-based cream color from Clairol.
Who knew that water could deliver color like this?
Clairol Hydrience uses the power of water, so it deeply saturates every strand with radiant, moisture-rich color.
That won't wash away.
Taking permanent color to a whole new level of gentleness.
I never knew it could be so gentle. It actually feels healthier.
Break through to the incredible new kind of color.
First there was hair color, now there's Hydrience.
Tomorrow on Good Morning America, the latest on the O.J. Simpson civil trial and a preview of the President's State of the Union address from ABC News consultant George Stephanopoulos. But that is our report for tonight. I'm Forrest Sawyer in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
For comprehensive political coverage on the World Wide Web, go to www.politicsnow.com. If you'd like a transcript or video cassette of this or any other edition of Nightline, please call 1-800-913-3434. And Nightline is online with America Online. AOL members use the keyword ABC News.
Nightline is a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
ABC Wednesday's a blast, because in this episode, Drew does something never before seen on network TV. Or heard.
All I can say is this. It ain't gonna be pretty.
It's an explosive new Drew. Then Ellen's jamming with Bonnie Raitt.
I listen to your records whenever I get depressed.
Do they make you feel better?
No, it depresses me more.
And all new ABC Wednesday.
This is Health Rider. And for a new you this year, this is Health Rider. The Health Rider Store. Get 90 days same as cash on anything in the store, plus free shipping and handling on the Health Strider treadmill. For details, visit a Health Rider store at a mall near you.
Now, Jack, I'm still not making any promises. Uh-oh, watch out for this. But if you pass your driver's test, the car's yours.
Dad, you've been saying that since I was a baby.
Let's try to parallel park now. Cool.
The 1997 Mitsubishi Galant. Reliability other cars only dream about. The Galant, Mirage, and Diamante. The family of sedans from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
What makes Benihana Benihana? So what makes Benihana Benihana? Come see for yourself.
Come in for Rocky's Best and get special values all this month.
Jackie Collins and Lindsay Wagner on the next Rosie O'Donnell Show.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealers.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess who wanted a little more magic in her life. So she went to see the wizard and asked him what to do. Get a Katera, said the wizard. And suddenly there was a coach like she'd never seen before. Well, off they drove into the night with the beautiful princess at the reins. This is magic, thought the princess, but I don't know whether to buy it or lease it. Well, either way, I'll just put it on my bill, said the wizard. Katera, it's the caddy that zigs.
A daughter. A daughter. She's going to need all my love. She's going to need lots of hugs and hours of stories and dolls, braces, designer jeans, summer camp, a second phone, third bathroom, computer, college car, and a huge black tie wedding.
With ice sculptures. Honey?
Why does Visa Gold give you so much purchase power? Because believe us, you're going to need it.
Congratulations, Mr. Miller.
Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
I guess some vacations are just more fun than others. Carnival.
Wednesday, he was gunned down in Vegas. Now, for the first time, slain rapper Tupac Shakur's mother speaks out. The shocking mystery of the millions he thought he had. And where are his master tapes? Brian Ross reports. Primetime, ABC, Wednesday.
Celebrate excellence both on and off the field at the 3rd Annual Sports Image Awards. On Saturday, February 15th, join sports greats honored for their dedication to athletics and the community. Jerry Rice, Willie Mays, Jennifer Azzi, Jair Lynch, and Malavia Washington, with entertainment by Grammy Award winner Narda Michael Walton and Master of Ceremony Danny Glover. Join the sports stars and the celebrities as we recognize the true champions, the real sports heroes.
What a weekend.
I can't see eating like this anymore.
I can't even see my feet.
Okay, which diet this time?
Well, we could do the cabbage diet, the sauerkraut diet, or the horseradish diet.
Elaine, how badly do we want to see our feet?
Why do it yourself? When it comes to weight loss, no one has more success stories than Weight Watchers.
Brenda, on the sauerkraut diet, maybe hot dogs don't count.
Weight Watchers. You can't argue with success. Now through February 15th only. Reduce your weekly fee to $8.50 throughout the year. Registration is free, so join now.
Every year I try to quit smoking cold turkey. This year is my year. I'm committed. I'm psyched. And I have help, Nicorette gum, to help control my cravings. It's not like the patch. Nicorette lets me decide how much nicotine to use and when to use it, so I can stop smoking now. The idea is by this time next year to save enough money by not smoking to be not smoking in Cancun.
Nicorette gum will help you quit smoking successfully by helping you control your cravings. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
I am Autobahn, Lord of the Highways. Do you think you have what it takes to tame me? Do you? Try me. I dare you.
The all-new ES300. The road is calling. Answer it.
Come back. I let you win that time.
Just for the feel of it, the pure appeal of it, yeah. This is the place for it. This is the best of it.
Everyone is singing to the sound of Diet Coke. Just look under every cap of specially marked packages for a chance to win free CDs and trips to the Grammys.
One more time. Just for the feel of it, yeah.
Tomorrow, the president gives his State of the Union address. A man who's been there. George Stephanopoulos previews what he'll have to say on tomorrow's Good Morning America.
Introducing Classico's new roasted peppers and onion pasta sauce. In the Italian hilltop village of Salerno, roasted peppers have been used in homemade pasta sauce for generations. Now new Classico de Salerno, with oven-roasted peppers, tender onions, and vine-ripened tomatoes, lets you enjoy this authentic regional favorite for yourself. Discover Classico's new roasted peppers and onion pasta sauce and taste the difference authenticity makes.
The four-wheel drive Toyota 4Runner. It's big, it's tough, and it's one of the official Toyota vehicles of North Star. Can they pick 'em or what? Check out the 4Runner at your Northern California Toyota dealer today.
The amazing Dirt Devil Ultra Hand Vac. Now with twice the power and a built-in hose and crevice tool to reach into places you've never reached before. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil. The amazing Dirt Devil Broom Vac sweeps and picks up dirt in one easy motion. You'll never have to stoop to using a dustpan again. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
You got a client meeting at 4 and you better be there.
You're not gonna wear that, are you?
Hey, lady, you're out of huggies.
Life getting kind of complicated? Try the simple luxury of an Accord V6 sedan from Honda.
From enchanted
sour cream and onion or more Casey masterpiece?
Yes. You may see a stranger, a crowded room, and somehow...
Oh, Miss Piggy, I nuzzle your neck. I nibble your hand. I eat your chips.
Good night. The low-fat new flavors of baked glazed potato chips. You'll really want to hog them.
ABC Tuesday, it's a blast! Roseanne reaches a turning point in her life. She meets James Brolin. But will Dan be replaced by this new man? God, you're gorgeous. Plus, it's a Roseanne bonus. Flashback to one of the greatest moments in Roseanne history. Then it's Coach on a special night and time, followed by Home Improvement. It's a blast Tuesday.
At Bank of America, we think each customer is unique. That's why we have so many different ways to help. And we make it happen with every call, on every corner, on your schedule. We do this person by person, one dream at a time. We're Bank of America. What could we do for you? Banking on America.
Jack Gastic, 37 years, baking with Oral Wheat. You can make bread cheaper and faster than my bread, but it sure won't taste as good. You could bake the bread too quickly, which takes away some of the flavor. Magnificent loaf of bread. My Oral Wheat Master's Best isn't about cheaper or faster. It's about baking the best bread that you can find anywhere.
We believe in time, care, and master bakers like Jack. Oral Wheat Master's Best. 3-seed and winter wheat for the love of good bread.
What if other warranties were like car warranties?
46, please. What's the problem?
Well, this only toasts on the one side.
Did you happen to check the warranty?
No.
Warranty covers the left side, but not the right.
You're kidding.
Wish I was.
With labor, you're looking around
$200. But every GM car is covered by a 3-year, 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. And that even includes the tires.
But it's just a toaster.
Everybody needs toast. Now, car warranties don't have to be like car warranties.
You're watching ABC.
And I'll remember
96.5 KOIT.
Have I told you lately that I love
Listen while you work.
Here we are,
Music that makes you feel good.
96.5 KOIT. Light rock, less talk. Listen.
Nobody knows me like me. My body's a temple. I should be the guru.
Lived in this body my whole life. That makes me the landlord.
Now there's an HMO that understands. With Access Plus HMO from Blue Shield of California, you can see your primary care physician first, or go straight to a participating specialist in your medical group.
My body's a roadmap, and I am the guide.
Access, one of many new things behind the shield. Blue Shield.
Nobody knows me like me.
This is Mako Madness. Isn't it madness not to treat your Chevy, Nissan, or Olds to a new Mako Supreme paint service and save 50%? We'll paint the exterior with an advanced formula automotive enamel finish for greater beauty, durability, and gloss, and you pay only half price. It's Mako Madness. So if you want to save 50%, just say, uh-oh, better get Mako? And save 50% on our Supreme paint service.
Where can I find it?
Gotta get it.
There's the door. Beauty store. How's it work?
What's it do?
You're looking for Beauty Store, where you'll find natural solutions for beautiful hair with ABBA Pure Natural Hair Care. Restore moisture and shine to chemically treated hair with ABBA's Cream Moist Shampoo. Get 12 botanical-rich ounces for the price of 8 at Beauty Store. That's 50% more. Free.
I knew they'd have it.
I found it here.
Products galore. Beauty Store.
Hi, I'm Dan Ashley.
And I'm Carolyn Joe. You're seeing us through the lens of the amazing Super Cam, another first from Channel 7 News.
It's a specially designed camera that allows you to see rock-steady video images of the latest breaking news.
Here's what a scene looks like shot with a handheld camera. And here's the same picture shot with the Super Cam.
This is the very latest in news gathering technology, and you can see it live only on Channel 7 News.
The power of information.
As a receptionist, I try to help our patients feel comfortable, like Kate. The first time she came here, she had a cavity. To protect against this, our dentist recommends Crest. Crest can actually help reverse the early stage of tooth decay, like this weak spot, because the fluoride in Crest's patented formula penetrates the weak spot and can actually help stop a cavity from forming. And more dentists have their very own kids brush with Crest than all others combined.
Hey, Mom, no cavities.
The dentist's choice is Crest Protection. Save up to 80% by buying factory direct at the Jewelry Exchange in Burlingame. Diamond tennis bracelets are just $200 per carat. Diamond studs are just $400 per carat. Anniversary bands are also just $400 per carat. The Jewelry Exchange imports their diamonds direct from site holders and is the leading manufacturer of semi-mounts, anniversary bands, pendants, earrings, tennis bracelets, and invisible settings. Only the Jewelry Exchange gives you both a low price and double value guarantee. That's the Jewelry Exchange in Burlingame, 415-579-4700.
A Northern California kind of day. Come on, we'll talk you through it. I see there'll be some rosy things to say. At 4, watch Oprah do it.
Rosie at 3, Oprah at 4. Your 3 and 4 should always be 7.
Rosie at 3. Small talk, sweet talk, fun talk and street talk. Oprah at 4. Real people stuff, she's soft and tough. 3 and 4 should always be 7.
Men, is gray hair sneaking up on you, right under your nose, making you look too old?
Whoa, it is sneaking up on me. Up here, too.
You need Just for Men gel, made for the hard-to-color gray of mustaches and sideburns. Simply brush in this no-drip gel, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray's gone. Your mustache and sideburns blend perfectly with your natural hair color.
That gray won't sneak up on me again.
Just for Men gel, the sure thing for a natural look.
I'm retired and live on a fixed income, so I have to watch my expenses. But it never occurred to me I could really save on health coverage until I called Aetna Senior Choice.
Yes, Mr. Bryan, we can save you money. Unlike your Medicare supplement coverage, we have no plan premium and no deductibles.
I didn't even have to switch doctors since mine was already on the list. And Senior Choice works with some of the best hospitals in town. Now I can take the money I used to spend on health insurance and spend it on more important things.
With Aetna Senior Choice, you're covered 100% for approved hospitalization. There's no plan premium, no deductible, and there's even dental and prescription coverage.
Call 1-800-832-5927 now for more information about Aetna Senior Choice. You'll also receive our free guide to Medicare.
Maybe next time you'll catch the biggest fish.
Senior Choice is the right choice.
Aetna Senior Choice. Let's work together for your health.